Morning, folks.
Hey, Ed, how are you?
I'm very good.
Nice.
Things are moving along. I had a slight, you know those things where some problem gets in your head and you can't make it go away until you solve it?
Yeah.
I had a slight version of that over around the serial executor, and it's now costing just 200 nanoseconds additional tax beyond what the function is running at to use it. So that makes me happy.
I've added few comments to it.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I already did. The first one, I'm not fully sure about the exact function name. Maybe
Okay.
we should think about something like a submit or async exec, because it asynchronous by nature, the call, and exec it's not look like it should.
Okay, no. We could definitely talk about that there. It did occur to me though that the sort of Go idiom way of going about it was just have it return a channel that would be closed when the function was finished running. I'm like, why do I have two functions? This is silly.
Yep. And the second one, it's not fully clear when the drain go routine will exit.
When the what?
When the drain go routine will exit.
Okay. I'll go have a look at that. I thought it's supposed to exit as soon as there's nothing in the incoming channel.
In this case, we could miss some of executions.
Would need what?
We could miss some of executions if it will set to 0 and different go routine is already added function, but channel was empty. I don't know.
I see. Okay, no, that definitely I will have to go take a look at. That's a good catch. Cool. So shall we jump in? Would someone like to share the project board? Okay. Let me go ahead and share then. 1 second.
Could wait for Nikolai a few minutes. He always like to share.
That's true, but we are 5 minutes in, so we should probably get going a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Can folks see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. So reviewing sort of left to right as usual. Reviews in progress, create network service registry to add pod label cluster. I think that's currently in progress, but you discovered along the way that you needed to do some things to fix the registry client, which is much appreciated. Is that correct? Do we have Anatoly on the call?
Yep, we have.
Okay.
But I think it's this issue is in progress by Sergey. Could you point to the Fox?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I got get those confused. Yes. Cool. Awesome. So Sergey, do you think you can rebase the work that you've been doing on this and probably get it going shortly?
I think, yeah, he should be able.
Cool. And how is getting the fan out plugin into the core DNS repo going, Denise?
Oh, I have provided PR and PR under review currently.
Excellent.
PR to the core DNS itself, as I remember, yeah?
Yep, PR into core DNS repo.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Excellent. So moving on then onto in progress, the WireGuard remote mechanism support. I think you've picked this up now, Denise, correct?
Oh, yep. I mostly complete this issue, but I faced some problem with MIF interface. Can I describe this problem?
Please.
Oh, cool. Can I share the screen?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. um, oh, do you see the scheme?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, cool. Here is a scheme for WireGuard connection for VPP forwarder. And here the idea of the using WireGuard is use MIF interface and cross-connect it with WireGuard tune interface.
Got it.
Actually, we using MIF interface with mod Ethernet. It means that MIF interface working on L2 level of OSI model. Tune interface from WireGuard working on L3 level of model OSI. That's why I tried use MIF with IP mod.
Ah, yes. So we can, I don't want to take the whole meeting discussing this, but I'll sort of explain to you what's probably going wrong. And we can sort of dig into the details. Right now we're using the L2 cross connect between interfaces. And there is an L3 cross connect that should be landing in VPP agent 3.0 that we could use to do just an L3 cross connect. The other thing that may go on there is you may need to set up proxy ARPing as well if you're going to be a pure L3 thing, because if nothing is, you may need to do that as well. But effectively, when you're dealing with L3, there are some additional considerations that you need to get right. And I'm more than happy to talk you through those and explore. Is there something more fundamental that seems to be going wrong?
I just found that packets from MIF interface does not sense.
Okay, so basically the packets, you see the packets arrive at the MIF interface, which is set in L3 mode, but then you don't see them show up on WG0. Is that correct?
Oh, yep.
Okay. And when you see the counters, can you see the counters on the MIF showing that it's received the packets on L3?
Oh, I don't. I didn't see the count for received packets.
Okay.
That have 0 count.
Okay. So basically, the first thing to do is check and see what mode the MIF and the VPP is in, if it's in L2 mode or L3 mode. I suspect you're saying that you're setting it as, in the source pod, you're setting it as L3 mode, correct?
Yep.
Right. So it arrives then to the VPP forwarder in L3 mode. Is the MIF and the VPP set to L3 mode?
I just set mod IP. I think it should work on level 3.
Yeah. Okay. So that is interesting. We can sort of dig in to see what error or drop counters you're seeing as well. That'll tell you something.
Also, I did not see the error count. It also have 0. I can send details by Slack if you don't.
That's probably a good idea. But this looks like a very good idea, and I'm glad that we're moving this way. Cool. Awesome. Welcome, Nikolai.
Hello.
Hey. Let me go ahead and share the screen again. we're just stepping through the project board. All right. All right. So we're talking about WireGuard. The monitor core chain elements. Andre.
Yeah, some parts I think is already merged, and I'm not fully sure about the client and how monitors will be glued together with client actually. At the moment we have monitor server, which is okay, and the heal code is has some monitor client bound inside.
Yep.
Which receive the updates and not sending it back as before. So in current implementation, monitors send updates to the first client. And
Okay.
at the moment, with a new SDK, it sent to just one step back to the healer. And
Okay.
I'm not sure if it should be extended or not.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas for this?
Well, so like the thing I was sort of scratching my head around is, do we expect to be building monitor chain elements on the server or the client side in the same sort of way? And I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. So
yeah,
I know
because with the new SDK, every request will collect all the stuff. So I'm not sure if we need monitoring events going to the first client. It looks like it should, because if you have a long chain with endpoints and in some part the connection is down, at the moment the initial client will not know about it at all. It will be tried to heal, and that's all.
Yeah, we will try and heal in the intermediate chains, which is actually kind of desirable, because if you just lose one link in the chain, you don't want to have to necessarily spend the energy to rebuild the whole chain. That could be potentially problematic.
But the client will not have a connection at the moment. And with a new SDK, it will not know about it. It will not know about the problem.
Okay, that is a good question. And I yeah, so it doesn't have the vWire, but it does have potentially the connection. So I'll think about that a little bit. It sort of gets back to the speed of healing, because you don't necessarily want cascade healing to occur.
Yeah. But at least we could think about sending the update to the initial client, just to have a state.
Cool. No, I do see that. Also, did you see the sort of stuff I did with Event Channel on testing?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, glad that makes sense to you. One of the things I realized sort of reading through testing is machinery is fine, but lots of new APIs make it sort of confusing to figure out what's going on. So hopefully things are clearer in terms of what's being tested now. Okay, cool. So the metric service chain element stuff. I saw the API pieces go in.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a good way to test it on a real with a VPP agent.
Okay.
So that's in progress. One step, I think, probably it will be a good idea to switch the current version of Network Service Manager to the new APIs and put some VPP tests to the main repo for some time before we will find a better place for it.
Okay, we can certainly explore that. Okay, cool. So do we have, let's see who we have here on the call. So I noticed that the kernel repo folks, there's been a little bit of forward progress, but not so much. And so my basic, I don't think we have any of them here, but I'll reach out and sort of find out if there's some help that they need there, or if life has just gotten busy. I'm fine with life getting busy. I'm not okay with people feeling blocked because there's something in their way. Cool. Authorization chain elements. We don't have Ilya this week, so I'll go ahead and skip past that. WireGuard remote mechanism support. I think we've talked about a little bit. I think we've got 2 issues for this. Okay.
As I remember,
related to kernel forwarder.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Add NSM test suite to reduce cluster count on CI. I think you were working on that, Denise. How is that going?
I had switched on WireGuard interface on this week, and in this PR for test NSM suits, there still fail some tests. I'll take a look.
Okay.
Yeah, also, Denise is extracting a few issues. So Anatoly started to work to discover why one of the cases are failing with these new suits.
Nope, that's absolutely fine. All right, so the SRIOV forwarder stuff, we don't have any of those folks on this call. The simplify, I need to go take a look and see why this is failing. This is the one I mentioned earlier where you had added some very helpful comments, so I'll go take a look at that. And then I think in the to-dos, we've got authorization monitor chain elements, visualizing network traffic, and the OPA stuff. I don't think we actually have any of the people for that on this call right now. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct. No.
Okay. Awesome. So is there anything else that folks wanted to discuss here before we shift over to the community meeting in the next hour?
I guess we'll have time on also the workgroup call later to discuss this, but we kind of exchanged our thoughts with Andre earlier today about the pace of which at which this refactoring is happening, and I don't know. I mean, there's certainly, at least I am a little bit concerned that we're kind of in this unstable stage where actually we are moving pieces but still cannot use them, and the thing is how we can speed up the process. So one of the ideas that I had is to actually start preparing a branch on the examples where I start actually trying the migration to the new SDK as a sort of, I don't know, way to have where some way to test these things somehow.
I think more hands-on is definitely going to be a good solution to that. I mean, effectively, part of what's actually been happening is just rolling up things in the SDK testing to make sure that they're actually in a stable place. And I think that's been in many ways positive. But again, I agree with your sense. I would like us to be further along than we are, and I'm definitely in favor of ideas for how we can move faster.
Yeah, but I mean, again, maybe we should discuss this also on the work group call. But what's your sense? Where are we? I mean, are we kind of half the way through there, or are we past half?
I can sort of tell you where I think things are, right, in terms of what I think needs to happen next, which is, I think probably the next step is to stand up a command repo for the forwarder. Now, there are a couple of things in terms of getting appropriate testing in place for the mechanisms I'm wanting to do before that, but that's sort of next up on my plate is the mechanism testing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, basically to be able to get a, command dash, forwarder dash VPP agent going, which would build basically a Docker container and, build just that and you put it in a Docker container. That's sort of the first piece, because I know that we've had some questions from the SROV folks saying, can you show us a soup to nuts forwarder that we can go and copy and build? Once you got the forwarder, then the next step is getting the network service manager going. And that's basically you're seeing some progress towards that with things like the heel testing, the monitor testing, et cetera, where that's essentially shaking out issues there, but it's shaking them out at the right level. It's shaking them out at the unit testing level. The unit testing is getting easier and easier as we go, because we realize, oh, we need something like the event channel thing that we've got. Let's go do that. and so that ends up landing. So I think the network service manager then, that'll be the second command. And then probably the next from that is something like an ICMP responder, quite frankly. Those give us the basic shells we need to stand up the whole system and get going. At that point, you build a Helm repo and you can go and start banging things out with Helm. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, but it sounds like a long way still. Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely typing as fast as we can. There's no question about that.
Okay.
The good news is that the pieces are getting easier as we go. I mean, right now, writing a mechanism is dead simple. Because you don't deal with any of the problems of selection. You just end up plugging the mechanism in. So. Cool. Should we yield back a few minutes of time before we come back around?
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Thank you.